All right, welcome everybody. I think I have things set up here, and if we don't, whatever, we'll get it fixed pretty quickly. But I'm excited. I was able to pull the top three players in the current arena season, which is ending within a few hours, or maybe like a half day from now. But basically, we got NerdCube, Claybo, and Simon. I got them all on call here with me, so welcome, guys.
Thanks, how's it going?
Hello.
All right, it's going well. We're not brave enough to try to all queue arena at the same time. Plus, I think Eric is pretty happy squatting in the top spot and not risking it. So, unlike some of the previous arena show matches the past couple seasons, I think the ultimate result of this season is pretty locked up unless Clay plans to run a marathon tonight. But
I wouldn't put it past you, Clay.
I've been trying. I mean, Simon's ahead of me actually as of like an hour ago, so I think he's the guy to catch you at this point.
I'm not playing
essentially
anymore.
just made me cry for the past month, is what you've done to my life.
well,
Glad I could help.
all right, we'll get this game going. My goal is to largely just kind of have us talk about our arena experiences, including the fight for the top here, and we'll talk a little about the game, but it's not going to quite be like the all-player commentaries. I don't think we need to talk that openly about our plans or anything. I think it'll be a little more interesting to discuss some of our favorite stuff from the season and just whatever else. So yeah, speaking of that, I this map is good fun. I enjoy lots of things, but as people know, I love witches. This looks good enough to me for witches, with maybe a round 3 stronghold, maybe digging witches. I'm just gonna throw them in because I love them on this map, and I haven't done it in a while.
By maybe good enough to you, you mean what? It's fire and ice.
It's fire and ice, and the
Like
track. The track is reasonable. There's several dwelling events. There's digging. Like I don't know. Like
yeah, I agree. But also,
it,
have we seen a bad witches track on this map?
Not really, right? Like which? So I mean, I'm curious about your guys' thoughts. I think we kind of all agree witches and mermaids are probably the top two factions on this map. Probably more so
I would say
mermaids.
Darklings are the best, but
Oh,
yeah.
Well, maybe we didn't. Team USA didn't quite prove that the other day, but I'm looking at mermaids are obviously really good. Looks like a good track for mermaids, but if we're talking about factions we like on this map, I like cultists.
Yeah. We all like cultists, I think.
Yep. Cultists are definitely a lot of fun. I think we all agree that shipping strats with cultists are pretty good on this map, so seeing the ship tile in the game is nice.
Yep.
The cult coins
Yes,
come a little late for cultists, but it's still like a big boon too, I think. The cult rewards are quite good for cultists here.
yeah. I'll be interested to see how this how cultists will get played too. I think
I didn't expect we all pick great factions.
You thought we'd do funny stuff? I
We
could have picked
Yeah,
giants.
I
But
thought it would be giants, dwarves. Actually, kind of like dwarves. But yeah, they're really
same
hated
which
on this
dwarves.
map.
This track is actually like okay-ish for dwarves. I agree. This setup is
Yeah.
potentially one dwarves could have been okay, but now they're sandwiched. So
Well, you have both ship tiles. That's a bit annoying, but for the rest, they seem fine.
We'll go ye old faithful. Nothing wrong with it.
all right, this is arguably the top four factions. Although yeah, Darklings probably belong in there, but four of the top five factions on this map, I suspect. So
This might be close to like the mend of this map. I feel like, right? Like four strong factions that also like complement each other on the color wheel and starting positions well.
yeah, that's true. This is I do think I've played this matchup at least, or at the very least, some of this color wheel multiple times this season. So you'd think I should know what I should actually bid on then, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how balanced this is, right? Like I feel like mend is like pretty well, like we kind of understand like how the balance of that goes. I don't fully still understand how the balance of this goes.
Yeah, I don't actually know who I'm supposed to favor here.
I mean, naturally, you favor witches, right? Isn't that how that works?
Generally, that is actually the truth, yeah, but I don't. I actually don't know what the best faction is here.
Like, yeah, I can make an argument for I think almost any of them.
Yeah, this is pretty fascinating, actually.
Should we just 30, 30, 30, 30 bid?
It's possible that's what happens, maybe? Probably not, but
I recently had a game where we did that, and I became third. And if I won that game, I probably would try to get first this arena season because it was against strong opponents, and I lost like 13 points or 20 points. And if I won, I probably it's like a for 30 point jump. If I win,
Yeah,
I'll become third.
it really is so punishing. Someone was saying in chat, that watching Claybo take a second place and lose 10 points, yeah, like it is so brutal. It's so scary to just queue up when you're above 1800.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to a point where you lose more points in second than you gain for winning first.
yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
brutal.
So I think we can get all good 30, right?
Oh my god. I hate all.
You have to do it, Clay. You
You
suggested
don't.
it.
You don't have to. You don't.
No,
You have to.
I have to.
All right. Oh.
If they're I'm happy with third place this game. Let's let it be known.
I'm just looking for a fun game, but yeah, this is this is how experts bid, Warwick. You're correct.
Oh, you got chat.
there's chat, but uh, yeah, I'm still not sure I bid the right faction either, to be honest. So whatever.
I actually didn't think where I would place yet, but yeah.
CM is not going to start center. Spoiler alert, chat. Yeah, that's not happening.
And maybe if I don't start the 8.
If we wanted to just have a fun little romp to commemorate the arena season, I think CM starting center is, I don't know, as good a way as any.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, to be fair, like if Cultist doesn't start here, maybe I will. But even then, all my experience from this map tells me that CM just aren't actually supposed to start center. It just doesn't go that well. But we'll see what I could get talked into yet.
Yeah, I agree. That I think that was one of one of the early lessons, right? Was like that center spot seems so good for Red, right? It just like seems like instinct. Everyone's like, oh my god, if you get to go there, you win the game.
You get get tons of leech and you get an easy sanctuary town. Like how is that?
But actually, if you double deck E4, I think it's pretty good. You can do it in like some matchups.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is that I think being able to expand to the other half of the map is actually more important, and like being able to get out those red dwellings like in the center in the west, in like round 3 or so, right, is too important. And so too often, if you start in the center and like expand the other way, you just kind of get cut off from the wrong half of the map, and like you have some great early game, and then you don't have a lot to do after that. So yeah, I think that was like one of the earlier things I learned on this map was I feel like E2 as cast missions is just like my default starting spot rather than the center, like even when the center's open.
Yep. I agree. That is one of the lessons of this season to me as well, is that chaos, you just have such better expansion if you just don't start center. It's just too slow off of the center.
Well, going to ship and do B5 E2 can be
So
fine.
if you can pull that off, yeah, occasionally center can still work, but it's just not as like dominant as you think. I generally think other spots are better.
Mm. Good to me.
I am a
We're
little.
just gonna go on that weird hex.
I was gonna say I'm a little sad that I didn't take witches here just for the fun.
Mm. He won't do it.
There was. This is auction, but there was no actual auction, chat. We all, we all apparently. Well, I think three of us disagreed on the best faction, and then Clay, because he's a true hero that is in it for the memes more than the win, decided, yeah, he'll actually follow through and take the other 30 faction. But I'm guessing he didn't actually feel witches were best here.
It's an interesting move here. Hmm.
Yeah, the starting spot here certainly is a little tricky for you.
Well, it's like a gamble because I can take the D green.
Yeah.
You know what? Why not? Well, big gamble.
I feel like
Risk,
I feel
risk
like
it for the big.
I feel like that's the correct move. Yeah.
I don't think it is, and I'll show you why. Hopefully.
Me and you are.
Yeah, I thought he would start E4 also.
I think the center's still a trap for me. That's what it looks like.
Oh.
Klebo, the chat wants to know who you thought was actually best. If you want to actually answer that question.
I have no idea. I didn't really have a.
All right.
I didn't really have a guess. They're all pretty strong. Maybe whoever Clay doesn't have is the best faction. So I'm guessing the reason you think. Wait, why do you? I guess you thought witches or Nerd Cube was the move that you expected was chaos to go center. Is that what you were expecting?
No.
You're just gonna beat me to the green.
Yeah.
I think it
Because I
would be
started with
fine.
this. So like I beat you to that green, and I think that's potentially pretty problematic for you.
Gotcha.
So you think he should have actually just single dug first action? Then everything is fine.
Everything's a lot more fine, yeah. Then he misses out on Earth 1.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can also choose to go after Earth 1 and give him give him that hex. So I guess it's a little bit back in my court now.
Back to you, Bob.
Let's see. Taking the double spade and denying it to everyone seems pretty good. I can get out a lot of dwellings next round. Make it so Earth 1 doesn't matter as much. This seems fun. We're having fun here, right? No one's coming for my arena crown if I lose this one, right?
Yeah, we're just risking elo here, so. So, speaking of some of the arena stuff, just as we are half talking, some of my early arena experiences were continually running into Simon in the queue and losing to him by a couple points. I did eventually get a couple victory point win over you, I think, in our latest game, but I do think Simon was kind of my early nemesis and might have actually been like the person I lost to the most this arena season. I'm curious if any of you had similar sort of like felt like you had some nemesis that you kept running into in the queue.
Oh yeah. Number one. He was my absolute counter trump card or whatever you want to call it. Like, you may think I'm joking, but Rainier's pencil had my number. Like, if I ever got in a game with that man, game over, dude. I was playing for second.
Nice.
Part of it was because I was just, so distracted, you could say, but
Yeah, yeah.
but no, he's a really good player. So I think a lot of people slept on him, and I don't know.
I
He's
I
he's
mean,
fun.
it's definitely seemed like a joke account to start, right? And then I agree. I've been surprised at how well they've done, which was another that is another topic I wanted to cover on this arena season because that also has felt like a bit of the story of this arena season. But
It's not me if that's what you're wondering.
I
I'm
know
from
it's not you. I don't think there's no way you would play yourself. And also, God, you play enough games on your own account. Like, I don't think you play ground out 75 on an alt account.
Yeah. People are like, this has to be you. And I'm like, why would I make an account just to lose to it on the day?
That'd be
Yeah.
the ultimate flex play is finishing 3rd and 9th in arena, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
No, I have heard a rumor that you know who it is.
Oh, I do. Yeah. I mean, I feel like he's gonna
Are
obviously tell me his identity, but
I was gonna
I've
say,
heard
are
that.
you allowed to reveal? But you're not sure.
I mean, I am my own man, but I've told him I won't tell anybody. So,
All right, that's fair.
well,
I
I told Nerdcube the other day. I was like, he's probably like willing to tell people now. So I told Nerdcube to ask him himself. I don't know if he
I
did.
I reached out a day or so ago loosely, and the guy hasn't logged into or gal hasn't logged into their account. It doesn't seem. But yeah, I was waiting until the end of the season to ask them as well because I thought it was kind of fun that they had their mystery, and I guess they wanted. I kind of figured they would want to maintain it, but yeah, I did reach out to see if they would reply, but I haven't heard back yet. I partly reached out because I also was half inviting them to this game because I was trying to find top 10 players. I was originally going to cast it instead of just thrust myself in, but Mermaids did get all the spades to start the game. That's part of the nonsense Mermaids get away with on this map.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get this neat little center town because witches let me have that hex.
Whoa, Ghostly,
Seems pretty cool.
you chatted Clay for 2 hours? Okay, you were playing, but you got the info out of him. Ghostly, you can tell us. You can let us know.
Yeah, I don't even know if I'm supposed to take single spade here or there.
I think Fire 2 Tournaments needs to run some crazy show, you know, where like everyone submits their guesses for who it is, and you know we pull off the mask off of someone on a live stream.
Yeah.
That'd be
So I am curious. Can you confirm they are actually a Canadian? Like, do we know if that part was true?
who you asking me?
Well, you're the guy that actually knows, so yes.
uh, I believe he's Canadian. Yeah, he's nobody would know this guy. Like when he told me, I'm like, who are you? So everyone's like, I have a good idea of it, but nobody knows. Like they think they know, but they don't.
Gotcha.
It's one of those players.
Yeah. That is interesting, but I mean that happens. Like, I mean, we've seen enough players that like are pretty strong, and so like if you grind out a decent number of games, all of a sudden they're on the leaderboard. Like, or like the more recent like F2O season. Like prior to that, I didn't know Barnawal or like Warwick, and both of them have proven I think pretty strong players, and like particularly Barnawal is way up there now in ratings.
Yeah, Barnawal is like to me the most distinctive play style ever. Like he's a complete slave to the track and he like plays his whole game by only looking at like how to score points, which is very different from how you play obviously because you're like screw the track, resources. Let's get these
I
workers, let's get these
Yeah,
gold.
favors and resources aren't important. Like I'm screwing the track here too. Like screw the sanctuary is too good on chaos. Like whatever. I don't care that the sanctuary event's not till later. That's not important.
But I love watching Barnwell play because He's really interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
No, this is not a good start for me.
Nor me.
I
for
thought
sure.
either of you would take e4 or e5, but you know.
Yeah, you were hoping for the
Yeah,
double temple opening here.
yeah. Once you took the workers, I saw it was gonna screw you up pretty dramatically to just wait on taking that hex for a turn.
Yeah, but I thought Witches would take e5 anyway because he has time shipping now, and you know he might need it later if he wants a bridge down.
See, you clearly have not played with me enough to understand that I never do what you want me and what I probably should do for my own personal interests.
I I will say I have not faced I don't actually play Claybo very much, but yes, when I do, his style definitely throws me off because I cannot predict the man. Like he does not play how I would, and he obviously has very good results. Like he's a very strong player, but yeah, I find it fascinating to watch you play.
Thank you. I take that as a grand compliment.
It's meant as it's meant as mostly a compliment. All right.
Deep inside, you're crying, thinking of the games we've played.
There's somewhere I'm a little, yeah, like, but
We had the same opening, Simon. We're pros.
Super. We played with an auction, Super. Now, did any of us take advantage of it? No, we did all start at 30, but there was an auction.
Well, we didn't all. That's the other thing is none of us ended up on the faction that we selected either, right?
Yeah, that's true.
we all picked factions that we thought would be good, but then someone else thought that they were better than we did.
Yeah, but is that how people like put in factions for the auction?
I mean, I somewhat was like, oh, cultists seem really good here, and then when you put in mermaids, it was like, but mermaids seem a little better, I guess.
Fair enough. I have like two thoughts when I put in factions. Number one, like how does it do on the color wheel with respect to the other neighbors? And then number two, uh, how interesting of a game is it going to be? It's not really. I don't know. I feel like I don't pick factions for like how good I think their game is. I guess.
I
Yeah,
usually
that's fair.
pick
Or like the
factions.
best.
Yeah, just something I didn't play for a while, and then I pick that.
Yeah, I primarily try to enforce reasonable color wheels, and then I also actually tend to throw in factions though that I think can have good games. But it's mostly, in my opinion, like I prefer to do that because I prefer to make sure that I have a fairly robust like path to doing well.
But saying that, I actually probably played CM the most, so that doesn't really add up because I put in CM.
Yeah. All right. You're purposely making it so I can't get your stupid tile, aren't you? No, wait, you can't stall me out, really. Anyhow, I am happy to see you attempting water 2 mermaids here. I thought for sure it would just be fire 1. I'm not convinced the water 2 is actually correct, but it's fun, so.
Yeah, we're having fun, right? And so I think the reason I went water 2, I mean, chaos magicians and cultists in the game kind of sucks, but getting me a spade right before a dwelling round, I think is pretty dang good
Okay.
for points and economy.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to help me get a good handful of cult points throughout the game. And plus, I got enough leech, and I'm going to get to pass onto a coins bonus tile that I figured I could get my coins elsewhere.
Yeah.
The question
Yeah.
is though, I've just got so much in mind. Is Simon gonna hard dig that blue hex I left open?
I think
I
my
have no
game is
idea what's
already
gonna
fucked,
happen.
so that's yeah.
I
That
don't
would
think
cost
you
too much.
should. Yeah,
But
so
yeah, I can.
I think I'm just taking this hex.
That's what a worried man would say. I don't think you should. Wink, wink, nudge. nudge.
Should I be stalling to not give you the spade though? That's another question. Nah, let's just go for this.
Yeah, I advanced on water and didn't even get to gold bonus, so I think my start is really bad.
And it was all because of where I placed my opening dwelling. I baited Clay into placing on the other green, and then that gave you a bad start. I guess.
I've been debated.
This is how you win arena. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the mind games.
All right. All right.
Actually, he does have mind games. I've noticed. So right before the big Sohel, he did something right, and Sohel dropped like 40 points, and I know exactly how he did it. And then I get a chat from NerdCube. What do you know? The next day I dropped 40 points. So clearly NerdCube is a witch, and I feel like we should switch factions. So if we were playing over the real board, we could just swap our boards, but unfortunately we can't. So big sad.
As for the chat, Nerdcube's certainly probably the winner out of round one. He's definitely in a great spot. He's gonna end this round with a stupid amount of dwellings on the board and have great map
Everything
control.
is already blue.
He'll have great map control, but I'm not willing to concede that he's won the game by any means yet. I don't think there's anything wrong yet with my game in particular. Witches, admittedly, and Chaos or Cultists I do think are behind, but I'm not convinced I am yet.
I agree with that. But this is all part of my plan. Cultists are now gonna be forced to attack the cults because I got a bad opening. It's gonna be bad for you. They're gonna rush to a 2-key town. It's all the mind games.
Oh, come on, you know me better than that. I don't even with Chaos Magicians, I ain't closing cults out. That's just not how I play. Like, I was always
That's
gonna,
true.
I was always gonna lose them all.
Okay. Good.
Ooh, below 5 or 6 power tokens.
Yeah, really good with no spades on the gold bonuses.
Yeah, it's all right. We've all said how good shipping is on this map. You'll find a way. It's gonna be okay.
Let's see. We said I was going to be short on coins, right?
Not for sure, but
That one says coins on it.
yeah, that will help.
For a dig strategy, but I don't think I'll have enough coins for that.
Yeah.
This one. Come build next to me, Simon. I will accept all of your power.
Don't you think I'm winning a bit too hard? So.
So looping way back, Claybo answered his sort of nemesis question, but Nerdcube, you run into anybody consistently this season? Anybody that actually caused you troubles, or you've just smashed this arena season again?
Yeah, pretty much the second one. No, I did run into one of the noticeable ones was Deep Finesse. I feel like Deep Finesse kind of came on this season, right? Like he'd played before and stuff, but this was the season where people really started noticing that he was a really strong player, I think, and it was definitely when I did. And then there was a couple week period where we were playing almost every day or something. I think we were both just queuing up after work or something, right? And just both
Yeah.
ending up in the same games all the time. And I think I got the better of him there, but it actually he ended up getting the better of me long run, right? In Fire to Open, he specifically said he wanted to create chaos because the fact that I did so well against him in arena meant
Yeah.
that he didn't think he could beat me in a straight up color matchup, or a more normal color matchup. So he was intentionally trying to create chaos to give himself an edge there. So Yeah, he was one that I just remember like playing a lot of really good games against. He played like some absurd, I feel like 170-point engineers game against me. Um, yeah, like I remember games with him being a lot of fun.
I agree. He is one of the stories of this season because I agree. I think Deep Finesse kind of really proved himself this season at various points, and I don't super remember seeing him around. And he was the early leader in the arena. Like, didn't he get up into the upper 18 or like mid 1800s and then fell back down? He just needed to stop sooner, but maybe it wouldn't have been enough. But I
Yeah,
do.
he actually he had a like I don't know what happened, but he had a game where he got kicked from. Like it seemed like it was like halfway through the game or something. So he got kicked due to time penalty, I think, and ended up losing like 30 or 40 arena points in a single game. So that was kind of a bummer to see because he was right up there with everyone.
All right. Yeah, I agree. Deep Finesse like was on like super early. I wanted him. I did reach out to try to get him on the stream, but he unfortunately wasn't available till later, so timing just didn't work out. But he certainly was one of the kind of big players of this arena season, I thought for sure.
Mhm.
In other exciting breaking news, Ghostly has been communicating with Ranier's Pencil and has confirmed that at the end of this stream we can reveal his identity. So I look forward to finding out.
That's hype.
Ooh,
This
And
is when I find this is
Hey, but
Ghostly says that he can do it, but apparently Clavo has also been authorized to just verbally say it. So
that's
let's
wow.
let's play quick, everybody, so we can get to this review.
Oh man.
uh,
Ooh, we got a new spectator. I see. Rainier's
he's
pencil in the house.
he has been in the house for a little while now, yeah. So
Oh word.
all right, cultists take fire one, I'm guessing. Yep, it looks cool.
Usually I'm going like Earth 2 when I'm going double temple with cultist.
Yeah.
Or even Earth 2 Fire 1.
I think that makes a lot of sense, but there's a lot of workers on the cults here though too, so I think fire one makes enough sense. All right. I'm not going to quite say this out loud, McStems, but the fact that I do have this stupid income on because you forced me to, it does make it easier to remember the stupid fire cult here.
Wait, why do you hate the income? It's so helpful.
It's just because I have a stupid notion of trying to prepare for playing in person still. I I do go to in-person gaming tournaments, and I largely view a lot of this online stuff as helping to practice for me to play well in person. And I think a lot of the auto calculation that the site doesn't help train you to play in person very well. Well, overall it helps quite well, right? But like a couple of the minor procedural things, like admittedly, one of the other like stupid things that you can easily muck up in person is not giving yourself enough victory points either. Like it's pretty easy to forget 2 points for building a dwelling at times or something. Like
Yeah.
anyhow, so I try to. I
Wait, do they have any ways to check that? Or is it just like Scout's honor?
I mean, when you're playing in person, right? Like I don't know, you just move in your token and everybody has to agree. Like it does admittedly get a little messy. At like
Like there's no like you can't go back and say, "Oh, I forgot that." In the tournaments, it's once your turn's over, you can't go back. How does that?
it depends on who you're playing with and stuff, but
Yeah.
largely.
Anytime I've played Terra, like
Some
over
friends and I like that.
you first, nerdy.
All right, some friends and I like years ago, like yeah, 3 or 4 years ago, like we had this idea of playing like Blitz Terra, right? Like we were way ahead of our time, and um, like the problem we kept running into though is like we would just literally like forget to use resources and stuff, like you know, we'd be like in round 4 and be like, oh, I just didn't pay for any of my stuff last round.
Yeah.
Whoops. Like,
Blitz over the board sounds crazy because, like, I
oh
mean,
yeah.
that's wild.
Just your income seems hard to do, like the power stuff.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
actually
Oh,
never
yeah,
played it in
it was
person,
insane.
so
Oh, that is fascinating. Yeah, that's one thing that like it certainly makes sense enough, but yeah, it's just like it's kind of still like a slightly stunning concept to me. Like that there are experts out here that have just never actually played this game on a physical copy.
yeah. I only played Fire and Ice this arena season also. So the early games in the season versus you, I wasn't really experienced yet.
Oh, well, thanks. That makes me feel better. Ugh. Gotcha. Yeah, that is interesting though. Anyhow, McStebs in the chat, the stupid channel reward is about to end. As soon as Eric passes, you best believe these income displays are going back off.
Oh, so all right. So what should we have a conversation about, chat?
You're gonna make it
You
last
want to keep
keep it for 2 minutes longer. Burn your clock.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Uh,
all right.
oh my gosh. I kind of want to take the coins, but I don't need them. So I guess I do the responsible thing.
You always
Mhm.
need them.
I mean, eventually, yeah, but I have a lot of coins. Like, I just don't need them.
Key town is for chumps.
I feel like 5 structure Chaos Magician is possible in this map, and like I feel like you could compete for first. I've seen this so many times, and it's like, dude,
Yeah.
it's like all you gotta do is play the Colts, upgrade digs, upgrade shivs.
If
The
there
perfect
was a
combo.
trading post round, I think it would be super viable. Yeah.
Just imagine losing to somebody who built 5 structures. Well, really they only built 4 because they started with 1.
Yeah.
One of the games that I'm prouder of on this map, I won with an 8 structure witches, starting where you did, Clay. I think the 8 structure was just only for network purposes. I think I ended up getting 6 points on network because someone else didn't connect, but it was pretty cool to just play like a tall witches, which is fairly counterintuitive, I think.
Speaking of low structure games, I had a 7 structure halflings game on here in the arena for 150 points. It was easily my most proud game this
Oh,
arena season.
wow, that does sound really
Oh,
cool. I'm curious then if some of you other like, I guess you kind of already were saying that, but Simon, do you have a game or two that really sticks out that you're proud of this arena season?
I can't. I had a game where I went mermaids and went my max score of 194 or something,
Oh my
but
god.
I don't remember how it went. Um, had a game where I played CM and I started on D7 in the start and I wanted to go to B5, but by round 3, mermaids already dug that, so mermaids dug the red. But somehow I still won. Um, yeah, there are lots of games.
Dang, yeah.
I had a couple of
Oh,
fun games with Gold starting H4 also. It can be really strong.
can form a town. I forgot that was a thing.
Do it.
I was a little concerned you were trying to race. I was a little worried you were racing me to Tukey Town. I was like, I don't think he's doing that, but
I legitimately like forgot that I was, and then the prompt showed up. I was like, oh, is this good? Uh, is it good?
uh, yeah.
I'll wait. I'll wait.
Speaking of
This is
some
gonna show up every time now.
Speaking of some of the best games, yeah, one of the ones that I'm saddest about was like I had a really fun Four Town Witches game that I just had such great fun with, and that for somehow I messed up recording that VOD due to slight Twitch issues. Like I wish that video still existed, but the game still exists, so whatever. But
You took the W, right?
yeah, it was it was just classic, like slight dwelling rush early, completely skip Earth One. Who cares about that thing? Go stronghold, like mega early econ, get 4 big towns, and I think it might have been a town. There was some town round in that game too. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, it was just.
Have you seen a 4-town witches lose?
I mean, maybe I'm not sure. I mean, like the thing is, like, you could completely sell yourself out to hit towns and then like do nothing else, and that is, I mean, that's just not enough of a game.
All right, what about 4 towns in a 6-round town round? Is there any chance witches lose?
Yeah, but it's certainly tough at that point. You'd have to have scored like nothing prior to that, which does seem unlikely.
Okay, just asking for a friend. I may or may not have been in a game and did that and lost to Brazil.
Yeah,
But
see, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I agree.
all hypothetical.
Yeah, it's definitely possible, I guess. Sorry, I'm distracted, and now I have an actual, all of a sudden, tough decision where I wasn't expecting one.
My favorite game on this map was also a witches game where I forget if I did 3 or 4 towns, but I scored 192, and it's just kind of like the dream game, and everything went right. I think I got witches for 30 somehow, but yeah, like advanced digging, like hit the track incredibly hard, hit a pass tile every round, and like it's just a dream.
I usually have witches' nightmares, not witches' dreams.
All right, Lumen's also in chat agreeing with you, Claybo, that he's recently had he's lost a 4-town witches game as well. So, and he's even linking it. All right, so it can happen.
All right, we got to do this, right?
I mean, you have to at this point.
All
Whoa.
right. I figured, I thought it might be digging mermaids. Yeah, that's just a lot of fun.
This is the thing I haven't gotten to do yet this season. I don't think is digging mermaids. So
Oh, all right. Well, good. I'm glad that you're busting it out here for us then.
last day. This is the chance to like, yeah, get everything out one last hurrah for this map, and then I'll never play it again until 2023 or whenever.
Well, I was gonna say, do you not like this map, or you just don't think you're gonna wind up playing it much?
Yeah, I don't think I like this map as much as some others. I like base map a lot. I like Fjords a lot. Lakes has even been somewhat more exciting than I expected. I don't know. There's something about this map where just the there's like a few key hexes for so many factions, right? That are like the difference between them expanding to one half of the map and not.
Yeah.
And it does feel like very, very swingy early, where if you get the coins to advance your shipping so that you can get that hex, you win, and if you don't, you lose, right? It's like very, very dramatic shifts.
Yes.
So it's all right, but it does feel quite a bit swingy.
So, but you're excited about lakes?
Lakes didn't feel as swingy as I expected. I don't know.
Okay.
I would say I guess it felt more that way for everyone. Like it
Okay.
felt like everyone was having the same puzzles instead of this way. It's like nomads, right? On this map, nomads just feel like there's like a couple key hexes that they have to get for connection, otherwise they're screwed, right? Whereas on lakes, so far, very little experience, but it's felt like everyone kind of has the same type of problems to deal with instead of like just half the factions.
Okay. I see.
Um,
uh, George, I don't know if we have openly talked about Nerd Cube's elo, but the chat did slightly. But Nerd Cube's hit this level at a couple of points recently. I personally remember being at 666 a couple months back too, and it got pointed out in the TM server or whatever. Like, it just occasionally happens, but it is good fun to talk about.
It's that witchcraft I told you about.
So it's like Clay did try to warn us, yeah.
Warwick was also asking why I advanced digging there instead of passing first. And the answer, wait, I wanted 4 points and 2 workers, right? The answer was I really wanted tempo on having advanced digs already.
Yeah, there's a lot of value in being able to dig early next round and potentially take key hexes. Which is why I'm not super happy to be passing after you here, to be honest. But at the same time, getting your ship tiles also part of why I engaged in this. So
Hmm. I'd like everyone to answer the question like who they think's in the lead, because I'm gonna have a lot of spades to spend here, and
I'm
taking suggestions.
very concerned about witches. I think they're your natural enemy color wise.
I agree. Dig all my
we go.
green watch, or else you'll pay for it.
All right, chat thinks that mermaids are the lead, so you need to take your own hexes, is what I'm hearing.
Okay, got it.
Well, wouldn't be the first time chat's wrong.
Yeah, fair enough. All right.
No. Still don't, right? I'm getting 3 towns this game, right? Do we feel like that's happening?
I think it should.
Only
Like
3?
you.
Probably,
Well,
right?
I'm not sure
if
why.
you didn't build your town yet, I think you won 2 towns there. So
Yeah, it's tempting to form that town, but I'm sticking with the 2-town game plan. Am I getting 4 towns? I don't think so. I think I'm just going to do a bazillion digs instead. Oh, I was kind of hoping you would take the priest clay and do digging yourself. Maybe that was a dream.
Apparently, it was a dream.
this was supposed to be like a double temple cultist game, also with advanced digging, but yeah, it didn't work out.
The sad thing about me upgrading my digs is I can't even use all my digs if I wanted to. I'd run out of space.
Just dig the same hex back and forth.
I was pretty confident that was happening.
gonna ask me every time, and every
Hey, and
time I would be like, I don't know, do I want to form a town?
didn't you say, Nerdcube, that you were going to accept my power, or was it Clay?
Change my mind.
Wow.
You're moving up on the wrong cults. You put that priest to water, and I got mad.
Well, no, I'm just going for cult rewards. It was just 3 steps.
Okay. Go in fire, and we'll talk.
Well, I'm not going to say where I'm going in, but
Oh, I'm not getting a second town anymore this game. There's no way I'm fighting for one with Nerdkeep having advanced digs. There's no cult spades this game. Nerdkeep has advanced digs. I don't have clear spot for another town, so I'm pretty resigned to just not even fighting for another town space. I don't think it's worth it.
Not build a town.
it's annoying. It really asks every turn.
Yeah.
Although I will say I probably should have hard dug at least somewhere this round, because god, yeah, I just have too many workers now too, but
I do think it's interesting, Chet pointing out, you rushed the 2-key town, but maybe you should have been rushing for that red hex that I dug away, Ryan.
yeah, I agree with that. So I thought about it, but to be honest, it's not that easy for me to reach that hex. One of the actual really big things in this game was the fact you did get all those early spades. Part of my early plan of starting here was I thought I would maybe get on temp ship and take that green in round 2, and that's really good, right? Like that's part of why I think starting here is so good. If I get, what is that, G, is that, what, A, I should just turn on the stupid names, but A, B, C, D, E, F, G, yeah, G6. Like if I just get on G6, then I can temp ship onto G7. Like round that's the ideal round 2 for me. If I get to pass on to temp ship, double dig G6, build G7, then life is like great. And yes, my town comes in much later, but
Yeah.
I don't I don't know. I mean, I've certainly chosen a path, and it might well be wrong, but eh. But yeah, I mean, my network is certainly hindered a good bit by not being able to reach these reds. Eric taking that away from me is big, and it is a big difference on this map. But at the same time, I still have a couple tricky things left, right? The main thing is this is still here.
Cool.
Yeah.
Did not see that one coming.
I didn't have super high hopes of it, but as the game's been developing, that was, yeah, kind of my thought, which is where you taking that red probably isn't too bad. Now, the bigger issue is I can't actually build anything else, so you could keep digging me. Oh, actually, you don't have much range, though, because you don't have much coins left. Who knows? Whatever. Mixed steps. Could Mermaids 4 town here? Error, like maybe, but it's gonna be hard. The real issue for Nerdkeep 4 towning is he's spending so many workers at digs, and he just doesn't have that many coins. Like 4 towning requires 15 structures. That's a lot for Eric to build here.
Yeah, I think I'm better spent. Like I could take these 6 workers and like pass early and pass on to the 7 coins, but I think my resources are just better spent like turning a worker into 2 points right now and trying to get on scoring bonus tiles instead of bonus tiles that have coins, and taking higher scoring towns than coin towns. Like, I think that's going to be a better line here than going for 4 towns. I could probably do it if I wanted to, but not that cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I could dig brown hexes too, but do I even want to? I mean, it doesn't hurt.
Oh, look at this. Just brutal.
And so in that game yesterday, I thought I was in the lead, but then I wasn't mean enough to Mike. Like, I had that opportunity to stop Mike and I didn't, and then
Yeah?
at the end of the game I regretted it. So
Yeah, fair enough.
can't do that again.
Fair enough.
Just gonna spread the meanness around equally.
I do wish there was a way to turn the the mermaid's town question off, because yeah, it just asks you every
So
turn.
I'll let you know when I want to make a town.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Like you could literally click on your faction ability to like bring it up. So like, why not just let me pick? But oh well. So I think most people know the answer that my favorite faction on this map is witches. I just have a lot of fun with the things they can pull off, and Stronghold Witches makes I just enjoy it a lot. But I'm curious to hear what some of your guys' favorite factions were, or favorite things to do on this map.
I think Double Temple Cultists was like the thing that early on, I thought was good, and then like continued wanting to prove was good. Um, I think early on and still now, right? Like, a lot of people just tended towards the standard cultist stuff, right? Like, you want to open temple 3 dwellings, so you take temp ship and you try to like do that opening. And so I think that was one of the cooler things, was experimenting with cultist starting locations for different matchups. I think it still can be definitely right to start in the south and try to go for a more standard cultist opening there, but figuring out when to like place that C3 Hexus cultists and open double temple often was cool.
Yeah, I do remember like a Halflings game that maybe it's my favorite game, where I was in the last round with 25 workers and a lot of coins also. Where you can just like build 2 more towns last round. I like Halflings on this map also. Like, a lot of people don't like them.
I found it a bit tricky, but it's just, yeah, you have to play quite a different strategy compared to base. Base, you can certainly get that worker econ rolling like much faster, and here you have to do slightly
Yeah,
different
you need shipping
things.
also.
Yeah.
It's like it's a bit the same as for cultists.
Yep.
There's a lot of blue on this map.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does feel like mermaids are maybe, too good on this map, as we all knew. But you know.
Well, I think a lot of it is with witches not starting E4 and contesting like some hexes.
Well, I kind of agreed with Kleba. I thought like if you start here, you could get over. But yeah, Nerd Cube proved when mermaids have this spade, and then also they could get double dig. Yeah, that was pretty. This is part of where the experience comes in. Eric's very good at seeing a lot of this and has played more than any of us. So I guess I'm glad I didn't have witches, because I also don't actually think I would have saw that.
The other thing specifically that made it work was the fact that I was in 4th seat, and all 3 of you seemed like you were going to be pretty forced to upgrade next to me with your first action. Like,
Yeah.
no one had a priest, right? If someone had a priest, maybe it was going to be a first action to send a priest to a cult. But like that wasn't going to happen, right? It seemed pretty likely that everyone's first action was going to be upgrade, meaning I could take the spade and get double spade with my first action. And I think that's why it worked as well as it did.
Yeah.
Because then, well, it still could have worked. I still could have claimed that hex with a single spade, but getting the double spade set me up for a great round two
Well,
because I had 4 empty blue hexes in round 2.
yeah, and as Chat said, I guess the counter was Clay was supposed to just single dig first action, right? That would work. He would have beat you to that green then at least.
Yeah, he would have beat me to the green. I still would have gotten double dig though.
You'd still have a really nice
Sorry.
opening, but if Clay is like, if he's on that hex, like things are a little better for him, but
I also would have had to try to. So then the thing is, so I double dig with my first action, and then I still beat him to that green.
down here, yeah, you still a G6, yeah.
So there was still a lot that goes wrong, and then like, how valuable is it being on those 2 hexes? Like if I grabbed the other stuff, anyways, it's like a little bit valuable, but
Yeah.
Do I need this power? Declining. Oh wait, that was just a free accept. Someone else accepted. Oh darn.
I took the free power. I'm a chump. I gave it to cultists.
That makes sense. I should have paid attention.
I maybe shouldn't, but I did. So.
Well, I don't think I'm basic of a threat for the both of you. So.
I mean, you're a threat
well,
in terms of cults. You're still in this game. Like you can take some cults this game. It's very possible I shouldn't give it to you. The problem is I was staring at Eric and I was like, why is Eric going to decline this? And I was convinced he wouldn't, and then he did. So.
is it like a rule that the first one after me has to decide first, or if you both wait for the other one?
I could have technically waited for Eric. Yeah, it goes in turn order, is by the official rules. So I didn't have to pick first there. So but I did. So whatever. But.
I want to form a town. It's coming. BJ, you've been waiting for your moment to make me form this town, and it's about to happen.
They have been ready.
I was wondering if I should have dug that away.
I told you should have dug all the greens.
He did say that.
Here you go. Oh my god. BJ's going to be so excited. I'm going to be forced to form a town.
Yeah, you can't decline this one.
Hey Nerdcube, you want to form a town?
Thanks for asking. Look at that. I did it. It's in play.
It is. The devil turns around. Beware.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I could have done a long time ago instead of shipping, and maybe I was supposed to, was take a copy of Water 1, Air 1. Chaos Magician's getting blocked from, honestly, any favorite tile, I think, is a little tricky, right? Like, some of their best games are when they just scoop all the favorite tiles.
Maybe I shouldn't even went for one, but
You probably should, but yeah, I mean, it's a little sad watching some of like Clay has a copy of Water One and you have a copy that you're just basically not using. So I would like you to give me one of them, but so be it.
Probably shouldn't like build a stronghold, but whatever.
All right, so Eric, it looks like you have just enough resources still to join the Stronghold Club. Everybody else did it.
And that's why you're all gonna lose.
Hey, that's partly true. And not getting copy of Water One's really a bummer. My points are definitely a little iffy here. So I guess everybody, it's time for the Chaos Double Turn, right? That's the only answer here that can exist. Oh, except wait, no. Taking my double turn now is wrong. It's not gonna help.
I feel like it doesn't really matter. You have so many moves.
Yeah. I accidentally clicked confirm. I'm probably gonna undo this. I don't think there's a good reason to double turn here. Oh, wait. Okay, so that's a bug. Interesting.
What happened?
So it doesn't ask for conversions after your second move of the double turn. I needed to do it earlier in that sequence, apparently.
Uh-huh.
I don't play CM double turn enough, so oh well.
That's on you.
It
You should
is.
do that
It
all the
is.
time.
It is on me. I don't do this double turn buff. All right. So yeah, I had to do it on the first action. You're all telling me. Okay, cool. That's a lesson. I figured I had to go through my whole turn like normally. But that's okay. That is my bad.
I'll cut you a break here.
All right. That is definitely kind. I thought I was getting screwed on past tiles, but that is helpful because for the guy complaining about not sure how he's gonna score points, that is
Very nice. Wow, wow, wee woo.
that is
Yeah.
welcome.
Don't ever say I did nothing for you.
Yeah.
Can I?
There's still a red hex that's suspiciously blue, so I like. But I do produce probably the most workers I ever have in my life, so that's exciting. I'm not sure the last time I've produced 15 workers. I'm actually turning income displays on all of you just so I can see the 15 workers. times. Now they're going away, but
I think I went for 18 once.
I was gonna say, I mean, technically, like, you certainly could get a few more, right? Like, if I was passed on to a big building there, if I was already on step 10, like, there's ways, but 15 workers is a lot. Gosh darn it. All right.
Me neither. What am I doing?
It's a digging mermaids. Outside of that, I don't totally know. I mean, it looks pretty good still. You got a bunch of dwellings to build in the dwelling round. Yeah, I do.
I probably just need a bunch of coins.
Woods are good.
Ooh. But I don't know. It's probably safer to just take it.
Oof. I know what that means. Want to form a town?
I do this time.
Yeah, he actually does.
A priest town probably can't be wrong.
Ghostly, ghostly, you're giving me info. I mean, I kind of long assumed that whoever ran yours pencil was occasionally watched my streams, but I gotta admit, Clay, your game here I thought was gonna be, I thought you were kind of doomed and you got trapped in, but you've made good adjustments to stay to really be pumping out the points all game here.
It's a it's a it's a reasonable last place, you know? Like what's the word I'm looking for? It's let me Google
All
synonyms.
right, do I need to be mean and take this town away from cultists? I guess they still just double dig the center then. at the same time, I have no productive use for all these workers, and so turning 1 point of resources into pain on cultists sounds slightly fun, but it's probably not needed.
Respectable. That's the word. It's a respectable last place.
You think you're taking last?
I'm pretty sure.
Interesting.
It's where I belong. It's where I feel at home.
Okay.
I was hoping we could replicate the like final arena standings, you know, or just like our relative order.
Yeah, that's fair. I was about to say, why is it not asking me? But I got free power earlier in the round. Excellent. Can't even can't even accept Simon's poisoned offer here.
Poison offer. Oh, you gonna take that from me?
I always click do not use now. I like convert one and then I click do not use.
I've done much worse. I was actually playing a game with Rainier one time where I don't even know how it happened, but I like built a sanctuary on the wrong temple. And then I was like, wait a second, where's my town? Luckily, I was able to do some conversions, but that's the kind of play you get when you play with Clay.
Yeah. Come on, Eric. Come on, cultist. Why do you have to threaten that? Did you see the double turn coming, or you just were responding to cultists?
I mean, oh yeah, so you could have double turned. So I actually had a little panic attack last turn when I was like, wait, like can he double turn me here? But then I realized that was fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've been watching. That's why I built 2 dwellings last round instead of another trading post so that I could have my town set up in a single action so that if anyone ever threatened water. That's also why I stayed in the round longer and like gave you the ship tile was
Yeah.
I thought, right, like using my like putting priest to water and using my cult steps to lock up earth and water were like more valuable to me than what would amount to probably 3 points. Like I'm only staying at one shipping this game, so
Yeah, I agree. You're not shipping much, and you're exactly correct. If you pass there, I think I'm potentially stealing both cults on you. Um, so
ah, saying my first arena rodeo.
yeah, no, you're good. You do catch all that stuff. So um, I would like to reiterate that like cultists could I have your copy of Water 1. You don't seem to actually use it.
Yeah, I'll build some. I'll build some.
One.
Oh yeah, if Cultus would have left me a copy of Water One, that would have been a pal move, but alas.
Alas. I like how you have like your words that I literally only ever hear come out of your mouth. Alas being one of them.
That's fair.
And
I certainly.
admittedly is another.
What's another?
The other one is admittedly. I've never heard
Ah,
anyone else say it. I mean, I hear people saying it in the Terra Mystica because they hear you say it so much. I think it's just like wearing off on everyone,
nice.
but it's cool. Got your own little colloquialisms.
Yeah, that's hey, look, the fact that some of the like it was oh god, that was the F2 or the International Clash game. The fact that some of the people that watch my streams could basically quote what I would be saying there was yeah,
I was
slight
cracking up at that.
I cracked up at it too. Like it's slightly flattering and it's like whatever. Like if you're watching my streams enough that you've picked up on my habits, like fair enough, then yeah, go ahead. Like it's good fun. And
Yo, what was it like being in that chat room with all those uh, great USA players? Was it incredible or was it?
you should have been there. Yeah, why did you
No,
sign
no,
up?
no,
I don't. Yeah,
no. I didn't.
that's fair.
Saturdays are for the boys, but
That's
also
that's fair.
I felt like y'all were deserved to be there. But
You
like, what was it like?
you
Was
are
it
too.
good times?
It was good. I mean, partly as Eric and I. So Sprockets wasn't there that week. Lubin like doesn't have a ton of confidence on Fire and Ice, so he kind of like slightly deferred to us, but he offered good input. And we had Garteeks who was a bit quiet, and so on the slight like issue, Eric and I viewed the game in very similar ways broadly. So we got along like. I've played enough games here with Nerd Cube now. Like I actually really enjoy. Like I think we're kind of friends, and like we get along well and it's easy enough talking. So like it was very smooth and we largely agreed on like everything, which is as we said like possibly good because we're both very good players, but it's possibly actually slightly a problem because I do think it's useful to have some diverging viewpoints and
Mhm.
I kind of am looking forward to like getting Sprockets on that call because I do think Sprockets is like a more creative player than I am at a lot of times.
Yeah. Dude, I wish that was like recorded and then like you could listen to the like USA like talk through the game. I don't know. That would just be really fascinating. But it could be something that y'all probably don't want because you're like, ooh, they're getting into our strategies.
Yeah, you don't want to hear what we had to say about you on that call.
I mean, if there's nothing that you guys can say that I haven't already. So
Okay. How about that water too, huh? Seems pretty good in the end. I'm pretty pleased with it.
Your water two turned out pretty well, yeah. I mean, winning two cults is huge here in a game with cultists and CMs, right? Like it's really big. I as kind of classic CM for me, I did not build a second temple anywhere early enough. Like I probably should have some more pre-sun cults and just had more tempo and cult steps. But you know, whatever. I mean, my game's still pretty good here too, but yeah, that's probably a mistake on my end. Sorry,
Yeah, I thought you might go for one in round 3.
yeah, I nearly did, and then I decided to go for the ship plan instead. Although I kind of think that was worth it, but I don't know. Like, it's again, it's really tough on like how much I want to try to play for network and expand versus how much I want to play up. And I maybe should have gone for it in round 3 because it does at this point like not having water one looks like maybe a bigger issue than the other issues I would have faced. But I've also got to score the ship tile twice now for 18 points. So like I don't know, that's a pretty good path too.
cash money.
I'm very distracted here all of a sudden because now I'm having slight visions of do I actually need more resources? But it seems unlikely. I'll continue declining.
Oh please, you're the freaking bank of Terra Mystica right now. I don't think you need more.
George Shortwell is mentioning that Water 2 only would be a dominant ulti cult, Eric. What are your thoughts?
I think it'd be amazing. By the way, real quick, shout out to Hephaestus for playing one of the coolest mermaids games I've ever seen. I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. Such a cool game, and like that was part of what inspired this. I think Water 2 is great. Halai has also like a much larger percentage of the time than you'd expect. I'll just be playing a random arena game, and I'll round 1 take Earth 1, and Halai will pop into chat and be like, "But why not Water 2, Nerdcube?" So it seems like there is that desire for Water 2 content. So maybe.
Dude, I love Halai. He's what a guy.
Yeah, Halai. Yeah, Halai is super awesome. Sorry, I'm redoing my math now that I have a clearer vision of what I'm after. Okay, it is still a decline though.
Yo, if I ever see Halai spectating, I'm grabbing Water too. I don't care what the setup is.
I think you'll get some respect from him for that.
That's all I want.
Yeah, what a nice game, Eric.
Thank you. Yeah, this was pretty cool.
Yeah, winning network and 2 cults here is crazy.
And probably having the most points. Well, Clay might pass me on points. Yeah, I think this was also like another example. So I was seriously considering fighting on air at one point. Not fighting on air, but just like using my cult steps on air and trying to get
A couple workers.
workers there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like even when I had my priest, right, I put my first priest to Earth, and I was debating if I wanted it on air, right? It gets me the reward earlier. But I kind of saw that like, you had already moved up a couple steps on air, like with your air 2, witches had moved up on air, and witches usually just like to put that priest to air. So I kind of had that expectation that because the air cult was earlier, the air cult order was earlier, everyone else was going to be throwing stuff to air earlier, and I was like, maybe I can get the edge on like racing up Earth, and I think I'm going to need the coins anyways a lot more. And so like, yeah, the fact that I didn't put a single step towards any cult except water or earth until like the very end of the game here.
Yeah. I do agree, like you've made it clear like how to really fight for cults, and I do think that's another like kind of step between the like good players to the great players is like really understanding how to sneak cult points. And Kleba, what are you doing?
How? What do you want from me? I need, I need points.
God dang it! This is what I get. Ugh, this is what I get for not producing enough priests earlier this game.
It's 2 points. Don't worry.
I'm worried.
Oh, and exactly enough resources. The dream. Those digs I did earlier paid off.
Yeah, you're at exactly what you need. I'm at exactly what I need. It's pretty nice. Yeah, so
I don't think I've seen this town before. I'll say that.
yeah, responding to the chat, see, guys, you encouraged me to go for the town, and I think going for the town is correct, but the problem is I needed all my resources then. But you guys maybe are onto something. The towns left suck, so maybe I was supposed to dig. Well, yeah, maybe I was supposed to dig his hex so I could time on network, but whatever. This is partly for fun. You guys talked me into going for the town at the end, so this is what you get. Now I have the extra workers to mess with him. Yeah. So I could have dug a blue, but I don't actually know if that really goes better for me.
I mean, what does Zorus know? What a scrub.
I mean, he might be correct that maybe if I save even more workers and resources, maybe I could build another trading post and another dwelling, but that's pretty expensive too. Like, it's not that trivial for me at all.
If you had water 1, that definitely would seem more obviously like the play, but
Yeah, but like without water 1, like, I don't know. I'm not too sad about what I did here. Like, I'm still pretty close. Nerdcub's definitely ahead, but if I lose 7 points worth of a town, I don't totally like. I'm not convinced if I build one more dwelling that's +4 and then it's a 6 point swing on network. So like, I guess if I did have that route, and maybe I did, it's better, but it's 3 points better, which is not going to be the margin here at all, right? Like, so it's fine. I guess if I outright beat him, it was a 12-point swing. Though. I see. If I had a way to block him at 13 and push myself to 14, maybe that makes me win. Probably does. So yeah, maybe I had a path to the win and I missed it.
I'm not sure that would make up a 13-point gap even.
Well, no. So if I dig your hex and I had, well, maybe it was too late already. Maybe I'd committed too much to this northern stuff. But maybe that's the point. Maybe I wasn't supposed to dig these dwellings here. If I dug cheaper dwellings, maybe I might be able to push myself to 14 network and hold you to 13. So that is a 12-point difference, and then I get another dwelling, so that's 16 points. I lose the town, but uh, still 13 points. I mean, I guess that ties us. It might have been enough, but
Yeah, maybe. There's maybe also stuff that I don't know. There's maybe also stuff that goes differently, right? Like you built your temples to take cults. Like maybe if you don't do that, like you have the resources to do that, then you use cults. I don't know.
oh, and actually, as everybody's pointing out, I wasn't paying enough attention at all. I definitely could have slowed you down, right? Because you only have one ship, so if I dig the right hex, you can't get out either of those dwellings.
So I had 2 workers and I have advanced digging, so I could always
You
dig
know,
and build a hex.
you get one. Yeah, never mind. You're right. You still get one hex out. Okay.
Yeah, and I was always gonna be able to dig and build 1 hex.
Okay. Yeah, you always get the 13.
But
Yeah, never mind. Oh well. Definitely should have gone that way, but whatever. I completed my town. We were having fun. It was an interesting game. Yeah. Uh, it turns out mermaids are
well,
really strong on the map, and you can't give them this many digs.
I'll say you pulled out a much stronger game than I was expecting, considering I blocked that red hex. That red hex is usually so key for chaos magicians.
It is
Yeah.
often, it is important. Although, like I say, I think the trick is because E5 was open this game. I think getting blocked on G7 isn't that important because I still had access to these reds out east anyhow.
Even just you usually get a town there, right? You usually get a 2
That's
dig
true.
town there.
That's
which
often
we
my
didn't
second
get, like,
town. Yeah, that's often the second town. So I
yeah. So you still put up a really solid game.
all game I was pretty happy with what I was doing. Like I'm still not convinced. Like I think my 30-bit on CM is probably fine. I think they might have been best here. I don't feel too bad. I nearly did bid mermaids first as well, but um,
I don't think mermaids are the strongest faction here. I still think cultist and chaos are the best.
Yeah, I think there's a chance that the witches opening spot really did hurt things for both cultists and witches. I think.
that's possible. If witches just starts double center, maybe that is enough. Although I don't know, Nerdcube probably still has about the same game because then he just I don't know. I think he's still gonna wind up connecting.
It does make things a lot worse though, right? Because then if witches start double center, they're getting that green instead of me, right? Because they started on temp shipping. So then I'm not forming that town there. I guess I'm probably forming a different town, but I mean, part of my game was also fueled by the fact that I got to. So I think I finished round 2 with like Temple 7 dwellings, and that was able to fuel. And then I got a coins action, which was able to
but
fuel my round 4 digging.
but I think you still get that. Like that's what I mean. Like I actually don't know if it's that different. I mean, and this is one of these classics we could restart, but like broadly, if you're out here in the east and witches aren't, you just all of a sudden spread through all these blue hexes quickly, and so I think you still get your 7 dwellings out. I think witches are going to feed you slightly more leech, so like I don't think your leech situation changes a lot, and then you advance dig and
Guess
you
that's true.
connect anyhow. So I don't know if your game takes
Yeah,
that
that might be true.
much. And then you still find 3 towns. Like I don't see how you can't when you have advanced digging mermaids. So like I don't think your game changes a hell of a lot actually if witches start in the center. I think mermaids probably still were just the best faction here. But
I mean, I do really think that like the water 2 was the thing that was like
yeah,
underestimated and ended up being super good. Like so it propelled me to the extra spade, which got out 2 extra dwellings for me in a dwelling round. And then that got my worker economy going so I could do the spade round. Water 2 helped me win 2 cults and get 1,000,000 coins on Earth. Like
yeah.
really like it, I think it was absolutely better than Earth 1 for me in this case.
I
I
agree
agree.
that your water 2 is actually really huge in this game too. I completely agree. The fact that cultists and CMs have way less cult points than you'd perhaps expect. I mean, my cult points are actually fine getting the 2 key town, but the fact that you won 2 cults here in this game is pretty incredible.
Butter, butter.
Huge. Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
also had to,
if
sorry,
I bet,
Simon, I had to start declining early.
yeah, I think everyone declined.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah, you did have a rough cultist game, and yeah, the fact that witches weren't starting center, maybe that was like yeah, because you wanted the
if I
double
went
temple.
double temple, I probably would have won a gold or maybe yeah one probably, and second on all the rest.
Yeah.
And you just would have had a much better economy and better track points. Like I think everything would have gone pretty significantly better for you if
Yeah.
you'd been allowed to make that second temple in the first round.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Because you also do send a lot more priest cults then, because you have 2 priest production going even earlier. But
You would have had like more cult steps earlier, which would have like you probably would have gotten
Yeah, I would have
cult
got
rewards early, and like it
yeah.
was a massive snowball in the wrong direction for you.
well, yeah. Anybody have other comments on the game? It was really interesting. Yeah, it's not clear to me, I guess, what the best faction by any means was. But yeah, we had pretty strong mermaids and chaos game, and yeah, both witches and cultists kind of we knew early didn't quite have the ideal stuff happen. But any other thoughts?
I'd like to say I've been told by several people that getting mermaids for 30 is pulling a nerd cube, so I'm happy to live up to that again.
Like I say, I maybe should have been mermaids first, but I don't know. I don't regret the CM first. I still was surprised how that auction went, where we all disagreed on what was the best. But yeah, I mean, it isn't clear. So, all right. Well, I think we're
Wait, I
ready.
want to find out the identity.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I think we're
Okay.
ready
I
then.
want to make sure we're not ending the stream.
Yeah. No, God, no. Yeah. Like so.
We almost forgot.
One of our big things that many of us have been wondering is who this identity of Ranier's pencil is. So, Clay, I believe you've been authorized. Otherwise, you can make Ghostly do it in the chat.
Or Renier's pencil is in chat, right?
Yeah, you could just whoever you are, you could just admit to it. But or you could just message me. You could respond to the message I sent you.
Yeah, the plot twist of it all. Rainier's pencil is Nerd Cube.
Ah!
No, I'm just kidding. It's Terra Steel. I don't even know if you guys are familiar with him, but he's somewhere out there.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I'm slightly familiar with Terra Steel, but yeah, you're right. I would not have bet that.
Who'd have thought?
Yeah.
What a great arena season for Terra Steel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really,
they're both top 20.
really, really good. Wow. I was about to say, so he's been playing with both accounts though? That's messy.
I mean, not in the same game.
Well, yeah, I get that. So I'm a little I personally would not do that, and I would encourage the community not to multi-account that way. Even if you're not playing yourself, having two accounts in an arena season gets just slightly dicey. For example, Terra Steel, for example, has played you, Claybo, and with his other account, he's competing against you. So if he chooses to just bomb your game with his Terra Steel account so that his Randy or his Pencil account gets ahead of you, it creates weird incentives. I don't think he ever. I'm not saying that this guy ever acted that way, and I don't think many people in our community would. But I enjoy the whole like alt account stuff. I think it's a lot of fun. I don't really want to raid on this parade, but I do want to encourage the community to be really careful about their alt account usage because there are weird ethical stuff like that that can pop up. Uh, I would prefer people to only play arena seasons with one account. But with all of that said, that is that's a really good showing, and that is fun. And yeah, I would have never guessed that. So thanks for that reveal. That is exciting. Uh,
Good times.
that is good times.
Oh,
Yeah, and a top 10 arena is not that easy of an accomplishment. So it will be exciting to see what the final top 10 is. It appears Gray has given up the fight, and I think FireX has as well. So I think the top 10 is pretty well set this season. But
Are you not gonna play anymore?
oh God, I haven't played for like a week or two. Like I'm a
Oh,
coward.
you
I was on the periphery of the top 10, and I'm gonna sit here.
wait. You just one more game. That's all it takes. You got to break the tie of Rainier's Pencil and you.
No,
Clever, are you going
because
for second now?
because one bad game and all of a sudden Gray is in the top 10, and like I like Gray, could like he deserves to be up there perhaps, but I'm not throwing my spot away.
Yeah, I don't really give a rat's where I finish, so you best believe it. I'll be playing Simon.
I also don't mind where I finish, though.
Yeah. I,
Uh, I don't care
I
that
do need
bad,
to be
but
scared, is what you're saying.
yeah,
no, well, he just asked me if I'm playing, so I can't play at all like after 4 p.m. tomorrow, so I have to get all my grinding in tonight, and I'm supposed to be like in another stream in like an hour, so it's gonna be a late night grind for Clay tonight.
The
So,
season's over at what 8 a.m. Eastern, so
yep,
oh,
yeah,
well then it
all
doesn't
night.
even
yeah,
matter. I'm about to
yeah.
pull an all-nighter.
I was gonna say there's quite a few hours left. You could play like 6, 7, 8 games still at least. Like
Yeah.
the season is not finalized, but it's pretty close. But
Yeah, I mean,
Who's
I don't
gonna
really care about
who's
catching
gonna
their
stay up late? Who from Europe is gonna defend the arena queue for me?
well, again, it's
Well,
not.
Simon, are you gonna get up tomorrow, Simon, and play
I'm
one?
off. No, I'm off, and I'll go to bed. So thanks for setting up the game, Rainier, and thanks for the game, guys.
Yeah, thanks so much
Yeah,
for
thanks for playing.
joining us. It's been a fun one to kind of just chat a bit about our arena season and experiences. And yeah, I was glad that we could at least find a time for your top 3 players. Because yeah, you guys have proven the best at this map. So
And congrats on both of your high finish too. Well, all three of us, or like all four of us.
no, I'm a scrub. Top 10, yeah. No, not. I agree. No congrats there. You guys are the winners here. So yeah, really impressive, guys. So
Thanks, and bye.
all right, yep. See ya. Uh, I'm gonna head off soon too, but as usual, I'm gonna half respond to some of the last things in my chat and talk too long at the end of my streams because that's what I do.
What a beast.
You're sitting number 1 in the can't stop right now. Oh my god, that's very impressive.
Cool.
I have been debating making a last minute run in can't stop, but god, yeah, you're way up there. Holy smokes.
Wait, who is this?
Mr. T Bear. Or
Mr.
apparently Mr.
T?
T Brew in chat on Twitch he's Mr. T Bear, but it looks like on BJ he's Mr. T Brew. He doesn't play much Terra Mystica, but he's watching my stream. He found my can't stop streams. Apparently, that's what's happened. I've I've taught the master, and he's gone on to be the top. I don't know. Anyhow, um, Fofo, I don't know the player Ranier's Pencil, but the Ranier's Pencil line comes from a Fire to Open game where Clay here had a immortal line in casting where he noticed I was I was doing some actual math during the cast when I was playing, and I don't remember the exact comments, but it was great.
Oh god.
But yes, this is full circle here. Clay is the one to blame for that line and that alt, basically, I guess, giving the ideation for that alt account's name to pop into being. So, all right. Well, anyhow, yeah, thanks all for all the streams. Responding way back, Ghostly. As for streaming next season, I really probably will play a couple arena games next season, but I do not plan to play a lot of Lakes Landscapes. I just don't love it that much. I will continue streaming quite a bit of Terra Mystica, but it will probably be a lot more other tables and stuff. I'll probably try to.
Just saying that so that he can climb with his alt.
I'll probably try a bunch of forts. Well, so part of the problem is like I might break the alt back and stream with it. I've been trying to look into BJ's rules. Like again, as a community, I think we're pretty into the whole alt thing, and so I gotta check exactly what BJ's restrictions are on it. Um, but I think I would enjoy going back to the challenge of trying to win without Earth One. So I might bust out the Earth One is for Chump's account and stream on that. Um, but again, if I do that, then I'm not going to play at all with my regular account in Arena. So I will have to figure out what I want to do next season.
Seems like it could be fun.
Yeah, I think I would have fun just playing a handful of games with that account and providing that extra challenge again. But we'll see.
Cactus Lakes landscape isn't enough of a challenge.
Well, but again, I don't. I mean, it is, but it's not a thing I really want to explore that seriously, that competitively. I don't know. It's just not my like. I really do enjoy the challenge of trying to win games without Earth One. So, but again, I don't quite know what BJ's rules are on alt accounts. You definitely can't use an alt account to play yourself. That's a huge no-no. But are you allowed to have alt accounts? I believe the answer is yes, obviously, but I'll review their policies before I'm bold enough to actually openly stream with an alt account. But all right, any final words here from Clay or Eric?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Thanks for a great season.
Yeah, I second that. And also, if you're feeling gracious, just feel free to mail me your pencil any day now. I've been waiting on it. So it'd be a nice gift.
All right. Yeah, thanks all for joining me. It was a really pleasurable game, and I'll hopefully continue doing some other ones. But yeah, and yeah, thanks all for the chat. Thanks for a really fun arena season. I think it was. I'm really glad that BJ's listened to feedback and that we're exploring other maps and stuff. I think overall the experiment's largely been a success. And yeah, it was a really exciting time and a really good season overall. And I'm glad that we kind of had this end cap. So thanks to everybody involved, and I will head off and see you all around. Bye.
Bye.